We're going to start a different kind of project here. This one will be for myself. As you can see there in the background, I've never really been a side-by-side or even a ATV off-road. Guy. I've had them in the past. I've actually got a Grizzly 660 over there that I put quite a few county miles on. But I ran across this deal on this RZR here. It's a 2014. It's got about 5,000 miles on it. Got a real good deal on it. The kid bought it, played around with it for a couple weeks, got it stuck, and he thought he broke the snorkel gear and the pinion because the four-wheel drive stopped working. It started clanging real bad and making quite a bit of noise. But come to find out, I'm not sure about the snorkel gear part of it, but the cold clanging and everything else was the belt. The belt was broke, come apart. Best I can tell right now, there's nothing wrong with the snorkel gear. I think it's more of electrical, because after pulling the front hood off and looking, there's wires everywhere, broken wires, just been cobbled there pretty bad. So we're going to fix all that. He said they had a couple bad wheel bearings. Whoever the previous owner was, he got it from, put new axles in it, didn't put any cotter pins in the nuts, so all the axle nuts were loose, which made it look like the wheel bearings, if you jacked it up, it looked like the wheel bearings were bad. Tightened all that up, but I got all that taken care of. So we took it out the road for a little breakdown hell ride there a couple days ago, and besides it being cold, it runs pretty good. So messing around on Facebook, during some office time. For those of you who don't know what office time is, that's your personal time in the bathroom. And I seen a couple things on there that got me thinking, and I love the West, and we're going to go out and do some trails out west. So I don't have to sleep on the ground. Don't necessarily want to take that thing all over the place. And most likely it'll just be me and some friends going out. I don't know if the wife will be much interested in that. But I ran across these teardrop doors that guy had on for sale. Brand new, still in the box. Got them for $125 a piece. So we're going to take them, and we're going to take this thing here. We're going to make us a little off-road teardrop trailer, and we're going to hit some trails and do some long distance, some camping, stuff like that. But just figured I'd give you a look over this thing here. They tried to do a rough 5-inch chop on the back of this cage. It's in pretty sad shape. By trying to twist it together, they've bent it enough that this door here is super hard to close. I've got it adjusted as far back as you can get it, and it still hits here in the front. They've added some bars like this one that goes across the bottom where the windshield's supposed to be, and the two vertical braces. Well, that's not roll bar material, that's well pipe. So we're going to get rid of that. Same with this back here. Them verticals there, them are also well pipe. So we're going to get rid of them. And I believe this here is exhaust pipe tubing. And the welds on it are pretty bad. And I'm not sure why they took it from the intersection point to go over to the side, unless it was to patch up their sidebars there where they've cobbled it together. Same with over here. This weld looks a little bit better. Still not great. And you know, if you can't weld it, grind it. So, and that's what they did. But we're going to fix all that. I have a cousin of mine who used to build all my race car cages. He still has his tubing bender, and we're going to build a new top section of the cage for this thing. Get it looking a little bit better. Get rid of some of that, and then I'm going to put a windshield on it. We are going to put some new seat belts. These seat belts, all the latches are all screwed up. You can't adjust any of them. And, you know, they do have them wrapped around the bars pretty good, but I want the seats. We're going to replace these seats too, that have them that come through the seat instead of over the shoulder. That keeps them out of the mud a little bit better. And then, you know, while these seats are in relatively decent shape, they don't quite fit my posterior. So we're going to get a different set of seats that's got a little bit longer seat bottom, and probably do some suspension seats, get them put in there. And then, you know, like I said, we're going to kind of straighten up some of this wiring on this thing. But I just figured I would introduce this thing before we get ready to start the project. And then the plans of, we're going to put a hitch on here. I'm going to do a little trailer, like I said, with them 2 doors on it. That'll be, hold a 48 by 60 mattress, maybe a little slide out kitchenette thing, you know, with a sink that drains on the ground, no gray water tank. I think I do have a 15-gallon freshwater tank I might put on it, don't know yet, just kind of see how it lays out. And my goal is to make this trailer come in at under 600 pounds. I'd like to keep it around the 500 range. I do have some 3/4 inch foam core plywood that I plan on using. I'm going to build the frame for it all out of aluminum, and then I've got a set of blank spindles that are not drilled, which will work out perfect for this, so I can drill them for the Polaris bolt pattern. And then a buddy of mine's got a set of rims, no tires, but a set of rims that we're going to get from him. That way I have a spare for this, 2 for the trailer, and then a spare for the trailer as well. But I plan on getting this ready so we can do a little road trip. Maybe hit some HOV parks around here this summer, and, you know, get all the bugs worked out of it, kind of thrash on it in the trailer, make sure they're going to hold up before we go out west and put some miles on out there. There's a couple trails that I want to do. If any of you have any recommendations for, you know, 100, 150, 200 mile 2 or 3 day rides out there. I'm not into rock bouncing. I've got all that out of my younger years, you know, with race cars and dirt tracks and stuff like that, demolition derbies. I'm not in, don't want to do no rock bouncing. Some good trails, a little bit of rock. You know, don't want to go mudding. Just some good trails, see some country. But if you have any suggestions for that, or groups, or whatever, throw them in the comments. But that's the beginning of it. Thank you. All right, let's do a little update here. So I did get the transmission out and got it tore apart, along with a few other things. And we found that the output shaft for the front four-wheel drive was broken, which is a good thing, because I was expecting it to be a snorkel gear and a pinion. But it went from $1,000 repair to $150 for a OEM. I could have went with a little bit stronger one, but I don't plan on doing anything that's going to abuse it like that. So if it snaps again, we'll upgrade it. But as you can see, we pulled all the side panels off to get all of the messed up wiring out. We got it all pulled out, and while I've got it apart, I've been digging mud out of every place. You can see there's a bunch here on the floor right now. That's about the 5th or 6th cleanup from this unit. And then as we were putting new upper and lower A-arm bushings on it because they were shot, noticed the front differential. Of course, I had a pinion seal for it because it was leaking a little bit of oil on the front pinion, so I got a seal kit for it. And then I noticed that the wires for the four-wheel drive, one of them was snapped off, rotted off right at the front differential. So I was going to pull it out to replace that seal and try to find a new armature for it. But after looking, I mean, that's $500 and some. I think it was $520 at our local Polaris dealer. Then I got to looking at the housing, and one of the ears was broke completely off. There was another ear on there that had been broke off in the past, and someone repaired it with JB Weld. So now I'm on the hunt for a used front diff. If I can't find one, and if I have to buy a new one, I will do the upgraded. I did get my windshield fit in here. You know, unfortunately, the way they welded this bar and all this bracing and stuff in, you can't close the windshield. But that's all getting rebuilt anyway. So some of you may not like the glass windshield, or want it with the whole thing tips out. I got a pretty good deal on this one. It was brand new. They went to install it on a new unit, and come to find out that it wouldn't fit the 22s. So I got a pretty good deal on it. But as we were pulling the front drive shafts out in order to be able to get the transmission out, yet another thing, that's all that was left of the carrier bearing. So I've got a new carrier bearing to go in it. Now I have to wait until I get a front diff for it. The output shaft for the transmission, this is Saturday, should be here Tuesday. I'm going to try to get all that transmission and all that stuff put back in it. At least get the back end together, minus the drive shaft. Because I can't put the drive shaft in until I get the front diff in. But get all that put together so I can get the back down on the ground, and then I want to get it outside before I start putting plastic on it and trying to get the plastic restored. I want to pressure wash it and get it all cleaned up. But sorry, wrong one. But that's what the unit looks like as of right now. I'm gonna go ahead and post this video, and then once I get some more parts and get this thing all cleaned up, I'll post another one. But I want to get this thing all going before I start on the trailer. Hang on. Alright, so at the beginning of this, I was talking about the camper trailer that I'm going to pull behind this. I said I had a set of hubs that wasn't drilled yet. Well, they weren't quite big enough for the Polaris bolt pattern. And I had a set of these. I bought 4 of them. Put an axle on my welding cart because it was starting to get overloaded. So I got a pretty good deal on them. And then I got 4 of them for like 140 bucks. They do have the greasable cap and everything that goes on here yet. So I was going to machine down a plate to bolt on here to go from the 4x4 to the 154 and 156. But while playing around on our lovely eBay store, I found these adapters. They're already, machined down. They'll bolt right on here. Then if I ever wanted to put a different set of wheels on this for highway use or whatever, it'll go right on there. So I think that's what I'm going to do. On this trailer, I do plan on just putting a regular straight axle underneath of it for now. This could be version 1 trailer, or it could be one that I modify. I don't know yet. I'm sure there'll be a few things that I change, between 1 and 2, but we'll see. All right, that's the update for now. See ya. All right, little update on the RZR. We finally got it all back together. A little bit more in a way and less than I'd anticipated when I bought it. What I thought was the snorkel gear and pinion turned out just to be the output shaft, and the transmission was snapped off. But then as I got into it, the carry bearing was gone. The front differential was had a couple of ears missing on it, and the armature wires were corroded off at the housing. So we got a new front diff out of a newer unit put in there. It was a little stronger. We updated the transmission, put a new output shaft on it. I still got, I'm waiting on the tubing to arrive to rebuild the top part of the cage. But got the winch on it. We did take it for a little, little county road test ride last Sunday. We put about 3 hours on it, and it done great. Unfortunately, majority of what we have around here, other than a few off-road parks, is even though we live in the smack dab in the middle of Hoosier National Forest, there's no trails anywhere to ride. So since we do a lot of county road running and so on, we're getting ready to put some new wheels and tires on it. That way I don't wear these tires out, because they're relatively new, but running on blacktop and gravel road, it eats them up pretty fast. So I'm gonna swap them out with some new 31-10-50 light truck tires for the county roads and stuff, with a set of new Raceline bead locks. And other than that, and get that top part of that cage, and we'll be ready for this summer. So let me get them wheels on there, and then I'll come back. All right, I said these were Raceline wheels. They're not. They're Sedonas. They are 15x7s with bead locks, and I got a set of iron head light truck 31-10-50 15s on them. So I think they look pretty good on there, especially for what we do around here. More county road running than anything. But yeah, I think them will wear nice. I'm debating whether I want to put a set of 1-inch wheel spacers on the back to get it back in the same line with the front end, but I'm going to line the front end now and get it all lined out and get it ready to go, and start putting some miles on this thing before I head out west. And I guess the next little addition to this will be whenever we start the little camper that's going to be pulled behind it. Like I said, my goal is to keep the camper at 500 pounds, 550 at most, and then we'll go from there. I don't want to overload it too much, but if this works out well this summer, going out west running some long haul trails, then I may look at getting a new one and keeping this one for the wife and daughter to run around here with. And then yesterday when I picked up my wheels, I looked at a 2023 XP Pro Turbo, and yeah, that might be something that's in the future in this channel, or a new channel. I haven't decided yet whether I want to start one just for the extracurricular activities instead of what we do here at work. So, all right, I'm out.